Welcome to the Shabby Fabrics at Home Studio. Thank you for joining us today to create something together. You guys are going to love the project we have planned. It is our lovely Soft Blossoms Bouquet here, and it is just beautiful. The felt colors that are in this, the array of colors and texture just make it look so realistic. But the best part about it is that it has none of the maintenance that some of our other bouquets during this warm months of summer kind of get a little wilted. This will stay nice and beautiful. It has the perfect pop of color for your home and your kitchen. It will just look beautiful. So we've made a kit of this for you to make it so easy for you, so that way it just gets delivered right to your doorstep. No searching for any of these felt colors, and make sure that they're just coordinating beautifully. We'll send you your felt. And then the pattern is going to come separately for those of you that are wanting to make multiple bouquets. We added that in for you. So let's get started. This is a very simple and easy project. It'll be very easy to follow along. So to start out with, we are going to make our wildflower, as I like to call it here. These ones just add a fun texture and mix to this arrangement. And this one is very simple to make. So what we're going to do is, when you first start out, you're going in your pattern, you're going to have a list of all of your measurements for your felt strips. Some of the felt strips will be used for the flower centers, others will be used for the flowers themselves. For video purposes, I'm just going to start with the strips, but you'll first want to pre-measure and cut all of the strips there. And what we'll do is we'll start with this pink strip. So we're going to start with the most complex of the wildflowers because the process is all the same, just we're going to be using different sizes and colors, but I'll show you how to make this wildflower one here. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your strip. This one is 2 by 6 inches. We're going to take our strip and we're going to start by applying glue along the side here. And I cannot speak more highly of this glue gun with this fine tip. It is perfect for that fine detail. And we're just going to go right along the edge there with that fine tip. And we're going to then take our piece of felt and fold it in half, just like that, meeting the glue along the edge there. And we're going to hold it in place there for just a little bit, just until it sets, just like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors. These are the Karen K. Buckley scissors. You guys know these are my favorite. And what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting strips along the side here that is opposite from the strip that we applied the glue. So you can see here, that's where we applied the glue, and we're going to go halfway through this strip about every ½ inch and start cutting strips down the side here. You don't have to make these perfect. It's just going to create kind of the texture within those flowers, but we're going to go halfway through and about ½ inch over. And just continue cutting these little slits all the way down, making sure that we're not going to the hot glue itself where we previously glued, just giving it some texture there. So once we have those cut, and you can see we're starting to get kind of a textured appearance here, what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of our floral wires. You're also going to get this on your kit, in your kit, so it's just super handy. You already have it right there with you. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply glue again to just the edge here. We're going to take our floral stem and we're going to apply it, and we're going to start rolling this over. So this is on the side where our glue previously is, not the part where we cut. This is under it. And then we're going to continue applying hot glue to this strip and rolling as we go along. And this is just going to help it secure nice and tightly to our floral wire here. And we're going to apply more glue to secure it at the end here. And we're just going to keep rolling until we get to the end here. And this is going to become the center of our wildflower here. So now, once we have this pink layer down, like I said, you're going to make this same variation of this flower, same process. You're just going to be using different colors and sizes. So for this large one here, we're going to do this outside gold coloring that it has. It's very beautiful gold here. And we're going to start again by applying glue. Like you can see here, I already folded it and cut halfway through, about ½ inch over every slit, just like the pink one. And we're going to again glue at the edge here and apply it where our pink strip stopped previously. And when we are applying this gold strip, as we're rotating through here, we're going to slightly move it upwards, just so that it has a little bit more dimension to it. Instead of just creating one big round flower, we're going to give it some height. So not a lot, but we are going to start moving upwards when we are rotating this as we're twisting it. So I'm going to start going up a little bit. So that way it creates kind of multiple layers on the flower here. And we're going to apply more glue and just keep rotating upwards. And then we'll finish our last strip here. You don't need to apply a ton of glue to this, just a very thin amount, just a line of it, and then you'll finish just like so. So you can see as we were moving up, it kind of gets a little bit taller there, and we'll just hold it until the glue sets a little bit, not for a long time. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our scissors again, and we're gonna start cutting these little strips that we cut previously. Now we're gonna cut the very loop of them, just like this. We're going to go through and cut each one, and it's going to give it some nice dimension and texture, just like the one that we have here. So you're going to go all the way through, cut every single one, and it's going to begin to look like this one here with the just lots of different petals here to give it its wildflower appearance. Oh, we got some hot glue there. And so you'll just keep going. You're going to make a white one, a gold one, all the same steps, just kind of varying with colors and sizes. So now that we have this one on here, you're going to finish snipping. We're going to set this one aside, and we're going to move along to a different flower. So with these flowers here, we're going to use our lovely acrylic flower templates, which are so easy. You guys love these when we had it for the spring blooms. Hoop wreath, they are the easiest way to make the perfect petal. Every single time, if you go back and watch the video that Jen and I did together, we race with the freezer paper templates and these. There's two different methods where you can make these shapes. And it was just so much quicker to use these petals, creates the perfect shape every time. And it also is much cheaper and affordable because to use the templates, which we will supply you with the shape of it and the pattern, you're going to need the freezer paper, the light box, the wool mat, and iron. And it starts to add up and get pricey. Whereas these ones, we created them for you that they're going to create it each time. And they're a firm acrylic here, so it's not going to warp over time like sometimes when you use the freezer paper and you're tracing multiple times. The edges kind of start to get a little different than it originally started. So those are going to stay the same. Can't stress how highly we recommend those. So to create our lovely white flower here, what we're going to do is we're going to start by tracing our shapes. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by doing our 12 smaller petals. You're going to make 3 of these white petals, or white flowers, excuse me. The small ones have 6 petals. The large one has 7 petals. For filming purposes, I'm going to just show you one here, but the method is exactly the same. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay down our template here, and we're going to take our friction pen, which this pen is amazing. The ink, it erases when heat is applied to it. So when you're just simply tracing around this template, if let's say you go a little bit off the shape, you can just take an iron or something hot and it will erase right away for you to start over all again. So all that I'm doing is I'm laying down my template and I'm tracing it right around there. And your pattern will give the amount of petals that you'll need for each flower. And then once you're done tracing the amount, I like to just cut a little bit in the inside of this. But if you cut a little bit, on the line and you don't like the look of the black ink on there, which you can just take your hot glue gun even and it will erase the ink like magic. It's super cool. So like you can see, I left a little bit of marking there. I just take my hot glue gun and it disappears right away. So that is how you cut out your template, just a little bit inside. Like I said, you're going to do that for a total of 12 small ones, 7 large ones, and that will help us create our flowers. Once you cut out all of your petals, you're going to set them aside and we're going to make our flower center. So in the beginning, we cut our strips to the measured length that we have here, and this was one of them. So this one is a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And we're going to take this gold strip. You'll have 3 of these for your 3 white flowers. And we're going to, same thing or similar to how we did with our wildflower, is we're going to go down halfway the strip, about every 1/2 inch or so, and create again just a little bit of texture for this flower center. Make sure you don't go all the way down because it will cut off the end of your strip here. We want to have all of it. Okay, so now that you have your gold strip here all cut out and you have your little snips in it, we're going to set this aside. This will be our flower center, and we're going to start gluing our petals here that we previously cut out. So we're going to take each petal, and this is also how we folded them in our last video, the Spring Blooms Hoop Wreath video. So we're going to put a little dot of glue at the base here. Again, this fine glue gun, or this fine tip glue gun, is so great for the small folds like this, because when you're using a traditional glue gun, it kind of tends to spew everywhere and it gets all over your hands. I promise you this makes the process so much easier for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold each 6 of our petals here. This is making our small flower, and we're just pinching each one and we're setting it aside. You don't have to hold it for a very long time, but if you want to make sure that they're on there extra tight, you can hold it a little bit longer. But we're just going to quickly go through each one, and this is kind of going to give us a petal shape similar to like a magnolia or a daisy. And we'll just apply just a small dot of glue here, and we have one more, just like that. And also, side note, this parchment paper here that I'm using, you can see little hot glue strips when you're using it. It can kind of get a little bit messy. And so this extra large parchment paper sheet that we have here is perfect for this craft area. It gives you an extra large workspace. And it also just keeps everything nice and clean, easy to clean up. It's my favorite tool when crafting because it just makes my job nice and easy. No one loves to clean up. So now that we have all of those glued, we're going to set our petals aside, and we're going to take another floral stem here, and we're going to start gluing our flower center onto our wire. So similar how we did our previous flower is we're going to apply glue to the edge here. We're going to stick our wire on there, and we're just going to continue to roll it. This is a smaller center, but it's the same process, just a thin strip of glue. And with this one, since it is smaller, we don't need to apply glue as often. You can roll it for a little while and then secure it at the end, like I'm doing here. Just a little bit more, just to make sure that it doesn't come loose at the end there. So now that we have our flower center, we're going to begin placing our petals. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply glue directly down the front of this petal here. Just a little strip right down the bottom. We're going to take that petal and we're going to place it onto the flower center nice and straight there, just directly on top, holding it for just a second. Make sure the glue is set, and then we'll apply glue again just down the center and just right on top. As I'm placing these, I'm going next to it, just slightly overlapping to create the look of this flower. You don't want to put them too close together, but we are overlapping just a little bit to give it its appearance, and it's just going to go directly flat. And this is going to be our small flower. You're going to create 2 of these small ones and then 1 larger one. Same process of just overlapping slightly and going all the way around here. Just like so. And our last one is going to go directly in place, and you will have your 1 small flower. I like these smaller white ones. They're nice and delicate and cute. They're kind of like daisies or magnolias, and you can kind of just press them together a little bit if you need to. If you feel like when you're applying your petals or the center and you don't feel like it's on there tight enough, this one is very secure, but you can always apply some glue down here to give it just a little bit more extra security. And once you have your small I'm going to move this petal a little bit to the side. Once you have your small flower here, we'll set that to the side and we will start making our next flower. So the next one that we have here is similar to kind of a blooming rose is what I think of it. I love this cream paired with the soft pink. I think it's just lovely. And we're going to start doing this one the same way that we've done our other ones, again, with our strip that we cut out in the beginning. But we're not going to make slits in this one. We're just going to apply glue to make every flower just a little bit more unique. Oops, I got some glue on my thumb there. And we're going to just turn this one without the slits to give it a little bit of a different look. Like I said with this one as well, you don't need to apply as often as our flowers, but we are just twisting it with our floral wire and applying it just at the end here. Now with this one, we're going to take our petals and we're going to fold them a little bit differently. So you'll cut out all of your cream and light pink petals just like you did with these flower templates here that are super easy to use. They stay nice and firm for creating that perfect shape. So you're going to cut out your cream and pink petals just how your pattern tells you to do so. And we're going to fold these ones a little bit differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to we'll start with our pink petals, but you're going to do it the same with all of your light pink and cream petals for this flower. And we're going to make a slit at the bottom here, about a 1/2 inch, just directly in the center, just like that. We're going to do it with the second one. We're going to make another slit in the center, about a 1/2 inch, just directly down. Once we have all of them cut, what we're going to do is we're going to apply glue. Again, this fine detail, this is where it really comes in handy, this glue gun. And we're going to put a small dot on the top to the right of it and on the bottom. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take one side of our petals. I like to do the right one. It's just easier for me to fold it that way. We're going to overlap them with our right one going to the bottom and our left one on top. Again with the bottom one, right one going down, left one going over the top. I'll show you one more time for this. So you have your 2 slits that you cut. We're going to apply a small dot of glue on this side and one more on the bottom here. And we're just going to overlap the 2. So I'm going to take my right one and bring it under the left and hold in place. And same with this bottom one, right one under the left and hold in place. You're going to do this method with all of your light pink and cream petals that you cut out. And I'll show you how we're going to make this blooming rose, we'll call it. So you have your flower center that you made previously on your floral wire. Let me just remove these strings here. And we're going to apply glue a little bit differently than we did with the white flower to give it a different appearance. So how we'll do this one is we're going to apply glue. You can see it has that scoop there. We're going to apply it in the area directly underneath it. And then we're going to stick it on our flower center just in that part. And we're going to let the rest of this petal kind of hang there a little bit. We'll do it for this one again, all in the bottom area underneath that little scoop there and applying it. This one again is going to be a little bit overlapped, slightly less than our white flower. And again, just the bottom there and slightly over. So we can't see our flower center as much with this one. It's more of a base, but that is because we want to create just a little bud in the center, just kind of with the petals overlapping it and give it its little look there. And we're going to then take our medium petals and we're going to apply 5 of these medium petals around our flower here. So just like we did with our pink one, we're going to apply it at the base. And we're going to put them over this pink flower. And we're going slightly above these pink petals here. And then we're going to overlap again. So slightly above these pink ones, a little bit overlapping. And it might look like you're making it so the flower is enclosed, and we'll kind of situate it later to give it more of its open blooming look. But for right now, it's okay to just apply. As long as we're putting the glue just directly out of the bottom, it will make it so we can shape our petals a little bit later. So I'm just going to continue with these 5 cream petals going all the way around, overlapping. And we're going to start covering up the pink little bud in the middle there. Got one more. And just like that. So now we have our small base there. What we're going to do after the 5 of these are applied, we're going to go through and do the same technique with the 7 of these. So again, glue at the bottom. And I like to start with a little bit in between the 2 petals and a slightly above. Not a lot, just a little bit to add a little bit of height and dimension. And we're going to go all the way around with the 7 of these. Just like that. I love the look of this flower. This one might be my favorite. It just looks so realistic to me, and I love the pink paired with the cream. I think it looks so lovely. Just a nice soft flower there. So again, overlap. And if you feel like it's getting a little bit loose from the wire there, we can apply a little bit of glue to just make sure it's nice and secure. And we'll just keep going all the way around. Whoops. We also have these glue guns or glue sticks. We do have the glue guns, but we also have the glue sticks available for you that pair really nicely with this fine tip glue gun, and they're extra long. So I know it's frustrating when you're crafting and you're running out of glue constantly. You're constantly grabbing a new glue stick. These ones are very long, so you're hardly replacing it. You can get through an entire project without having to replace it with a mini or a smaller glue stick. It makes it much easier not having to reach for it. So we'll go all the way around with our 7, and that's going to create our little blooming look for our sweet and soft rose here. So once we have this one done, we're going to set this one down as well. You're making a total of 2 of these shapes. You're going to, at the end, show you how to arrange them, but for right now, we'll just set them to the side, and we're going to move on to our last flower here. This is our peony, is what it is similar to, resembles, is this lovely pink peony. And it really is the same process as this white one, but the beginning technique is just a little bit different that I want to show you how you're going to start it out. So again, another wire here. And you're going to take your pink strip that you cut out previously. And this one here is a 1 inch by 4 inches. And what we're going to do, same process. You know the drill by now. We're going to take the wire and just roll it over just to give us a bigger flower center to work with. Apply more glue. Good thing I have that parchment paper down there. Glue kind of gets a little bit stringy. That's okay. We have this down. We're not making a mess at all with this. We can just easily pick it up and clear our space. So we have our bigger flower center here. And we're going to, again, take our pink petals and cut them out just like we did with our flower templates, folding them just the same, one overlapping another. But I want to show you how we're going to apply these ones. So again, glue at the bottom with our 4 medium petals, getting on this flower center here. So this flower center is bigger, so you can already see the petal here is going over the top. And again, overlapping, applying the glue, making sure that it's set. This felt is very high quality felt, so it's not, some felts kind of get a little bit fuzzy or messy when you're working with it. This one is of a good quality, and so it stays and holds its shape very well, and just has a beautiful texture to it when you're applying the glue to it here. So now that we have all 4 covering our flower center, what we're going to do that's different than our last flower to create kind of the bud that we have here for this peony that is bigger, we're going to take one of our petals and we're going to fold it over here, and we're going to apply some glue on the tip of that petal there, and we're going to fold it forward over on top of these petals how it would like to lay. They're already curving forward a little bit with that bigger base and the larger petals that we started out with. And we're just going to continue with that shape that they're wanting to do, that curvature, and we're just going to secure it down to create kind of a ball appearance. Hold that down a little bit longer. A little bit more. And if you have some that are peeking up, you just take some glue, apply it to the petal, and press it downwards. All on top of each other, just layered there. It doesn't matter which one you do first, just as long as they're layered onto each other into kind of a bud shape on the top there. So once you have this larger bud for the peony, what we're going to do is we're going to layer exactly how we did with this white flower here, but there is more petals to give it more of this peony appearance, and you're going to continue layering slightly upwards to give it lots of dimension, and it's truly going to be beautiful. So after we have all of our flowers done, you'll create 2 of those. You're gonna start gathering your bouquet, but we need some of these other elements that are in this. So we're gonna make our leaves here. We are going to use, again, we also have this leaf set available for you. It's a set of 4. They're just as easy to use as the petal ones. We have the 4 different sizes for when you're making like our centerpiece, our sage leaf centerpiece that has multiple different sizes. It just adds texture and dimension. So we have multiple sizes for you to choose from and make a multitude of projects with. Once you have taken your templates and traced around them, just like we did with the petals, you're going to do the same with the leaves. We're going to provide in your pattern the best layout for you to use for your leaves to get the most out of your felt. We're going to provide you with as much felt to make this here and more, so that way you can get creative. Maybe you want a little bit more leaves than I do. You're welcome to do so with what you are given in your kit with the extra. So once you cut them out, you're going to then begin gluing your leaves. So we'll take this here, and just like the white petals, we're going to apply a dot of glue here and then just simply pinch the leaf in the center there. We're going to hold it set. I'll show you one more time. Once again, just a dot of glue and then pinch in the center here. Once you are going along, I like to then organize mine by size. They're all the same color with this kit, but we want to organize by size, so that way when we are making our little branch here, we have an array of leaves to choose from. We don't just have one size. So once you have them all glued, you can organize by size, grab whatever one you'd like to start with. In this very first one, we're always going to start the same. So we're going to glue on a side here. Doesn't matter which side you choose. And we're going to put our floral wire on the side there. We're going to make sure we always start with one leaf just facing straight forward on this floral wire. From there, we're going to kind of play around with it a little bit and switch up which way we face each leaf. So we'll take this one and I'm going to put it to the side of it, and you're going to apply the glue to whichever side you're going to put it on the floral wire. So we'll just keep going a little bit here so you can see how we can add some dimension with these. So I'm going to put another one here, just like that. And with the next one, so I'm going to grab a little bit of a smaller one. And what I'll do with this one is I'm going to stand it up to give it a little bit more shape. Just going to stand it up just like that. So it gives us a little bit more to this branch here, makes it more full. And again, another small one we'll just do on the other side. So you're going to keep going with that process. How I created this one was I went all the way down with this branch, but you're going to do whatever will work best for you based on what vase size you have. So if you have a taller vase, maybe you want to go down more than I did. But you're going to keep going down, and then you're going to set that aside as well. So to arrange your bouquet, you can see here that I have different sizes in here. Depending on your vase, you may want yours a different height than mine, but it's completely customizable, and I'll show you how you can do so. So this one here, these white daisies, or Magnolias. I have on the 2 long stems here that we made when we created them, but I wanted them a little bit more grouped together in my arrangement. So how I did this to make a little bit more of a bunch or a group of flowers is I take the 2 floral wires, and you can use scissors for this. I've used it, but it can be a little bit tougher. So if you have floral wire, that would be best. And what I'm going to do, or floral cutters, we're going to, whoops, flew away there. We're going to make one shorter than the other. And I'm going to put it maybe in just the middle here because I want them next to each other. And we're going to overlap them and then just begin to twist the wires together. They bend very easily, and this is just going to secure the 2 to make a little bunch to then easily group together in a bouquet. So now that those are, tied together there, we can then take them as a group and turn the flower just like so. So then when you have it in a vase like these ones, I can easily manipulate, because of the wires, which direction this one is facing. So you can easily put them in the vase here, move them around. Maybe you'd like this one facing downwards, so you can move it more down and it will stay directly in place. So you can move it higher, lower, however you would like it. Very customizable. Get creative and make it your own. So we'll supply you with enough to do so. Thank you for joining me today. A very simple and easy process, but it just looks beautiful. This will look lovely on your kitchen counter, maybe as a centerpiece on your table. The colors are just beautiful for these warmer summer months, and it's going to look so realistic without any of the maintenance. Who doesn't love that? So we will see you next time for another tutorial, but in the meantime, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow along on our Instagram account @HomeWithShabby and also our Pinterest account @HomeWithShabby as well. And we will see you next time.